with Keshia Pollack of the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. Dr. Pollack, you research play, physical activity among kids. Are kids playing enough? And if not, why not?
I think kids are not playing enough. I think that play is so important for children, and there are a number of reasons why they're not playing enough. I look at what are those factors in the environment that might prohibit kids from being active and playing outside. So, for example, are there safety considerations? Does the built environment support it? Also, weather concerns, or do the parents support it? Do they have access to playgrounds? So, other types of environmental factors.
Okay, and why is this important? And what are the links between activity and health?
The links between activity and health are clear. We know that physical activity has tremendous benefits for physical health. So, for example, being heart healthy, for obesity prevention, so it helps to contribute to a healthy weight, in addition to everything around the nutrition side. We also know that being physically active has some psychosocial benefits for kids in terms of also social interactions between their kids and development. So it's just really good for musculoskeletal structures, for growth, for development. It's always better to be active than to be sedentary.
Okay, and why? I mean, as far as the reasons for less play, how much of this is because schools are cutting recess or sports programs?
Some of it is certainly related to that. So there's a wealth of research out there showing how school has changed, and kids don't always have access to recess or physical education, or there are opportunities where kids can access sports and play, but they don't have the resources to. So when you think about that, there's questions for me around, well, what can we do to promote free play and promote opportunities for kids to have access to play and not have to pay for it? Outside of the school day, there are other people working on inside the school day, and I'm focusing on what happens when school's over, particularly in the summer months.
Okay, now you're researching a concept called play streets. What are play streets, and how is this being researched?
Play streets are an intervention where you close the streets down to traffic for some period of time. They can be recurring or episodic, where you change the streets. You sort of reclaim the streets for play. And then you have different spaces where you might have basketballs or have hula hoops or have some other way for kids to be active. We've seen play streets around the country that involve things like bounce houses. Our research is measuring what happens at the play streets. Are kids being active? We're putting pedometers on them. We're collecting survey data from them. We're also collecting data from parents and guardians and studying how communities are going about creating play streets for kids.
Okay, now you have these set up in 4 communities around the country. Explain for me why those particular 4 communities.
We focused on 4 communities in rural areas that are under-resourced, and so we looked at data from the census, for example, looking at low-income communities in more rural areas where we see still a lot of disparities in terms of physical activity. So we also wanted to focus on racially and ethnic diverse communities, and so we're focusing on a community in Texas, one in North Carolina, one in Maryland, and one in Oklahoma, where we have a lot of variation in terms of race and ethnicity, and we're seeing how communities are targeting and adapting play activities for kids in those areas.
Okay, and finally, are the results yet? Do you have any sense of what impact this is having?
We're early still in our work. We've only collected data at a few of the play streets. We'll finish up in the next month or so. But what we're seeing so far is that kids are being active at play streets. They're getting a lot of steps. They are playing together. We're also seeing parents who are getting involved when the programming speaks to them as well. And we're really excited about the potential for these interventions, for play streets, to really change the culture around play, where kids aren't playing as much outside as they used to in the past.